loving God, we do put our trust in you. Blessed be God who calls us together. Praise to God who makes us one people. Blessed be God who has forgiven our sin. Praise to God who gives hope and freedom. Blessed be God whose word is proclaimed. Praise to God who is revealed as love. Blessed be God who alone has called us. Therefore we offer all that we are and all that we shall become. Accept, O God, our sacrifices of praise. Amen. Accept our thanks for all you have done. Our hands were empty and you filled them. And as we go from here, learning and trying our best to love our neighbours as ourselves, God grant us the courage to do so, in both not only our words but also our actions. The blessing of God, Creator, Redeemer and Giver of life, be with you today and always. Amen. Notices and celebrations. So first of all, some of our notices. Our Pins and Needles group have been very busy during lockdown and have been knitting. So although they only met for the first time back on Monday, there was a great wealth of knitting and blankets and jerseys and hats and beanies and you name it, it was there. And normally we would bring it in and have it out on display where it would be blessed on a Sunday before it was distributed. But rather than hold it up, because there is a need out there in the community, those items were prayed over, and between Gail and Mary and Murray, they've now been distributed out to those various places in need. So we just thought a photo might help you know what's been going on during the week that you might not be aware of. So a huge thanks to that mission outreach team who do that. So thank you. The other things that I do want to highlight in our newsletter, and most of them are there for you, I mentioned it during my sermon, and that was the isolation assistance. Now, if we have, everyone saying to family like, no, it's okay, no, you don't need to bring many groceries, the church has got it all worked out for us. Or similarly, a neighbour who says, look, I'm going to the shop, is there anything you need? No, the church has got it all worked out for me. We're going to be inundated. So this, we do realise that there are people who don't have neighbours who can help, who don't have a circle of friends who drive, who don't have family in town. Well, we hate to see someone stuck. You would hate to have someone drinking black coffee all week because they just need a bottle of milk or their prescriptions run out. So, we'll be able to perhaps help out with the basics, and if you are able to help others, please indicate so. Or if you think like, oh, crikey, if I went into a week's isolation, I don't have anyone I can call on, we want you to fill this out so we know, and there's a black box out there where they can be slipped in, and then you can just ring and let us know. It's like, okay, I'm now in isolation, actually I do need help or not. So that's what that's about. Similarly, as somebody at the pastoral care team pointed out, while everyone is well at the moment, do take the time to, we don't want to hoard toilet paper, but do make sure you've got plenty of your prescriptions and you've got, the basics ready to go, things in the freezer if that's a possibility, so that you are well supplied in that need. Lenten groups, we are very aware, I spoke about this last week, we're very aware that, people might not want to meet face-to-face. Some groups might be happy with that. Some might want to just do their Lenten study on their own. So we're going to have all options. So there is a sign-up sheet out there. If you want to have the Lenten study emailed to you, so you can do it electronically, we can print out paper copies. If you want to join an existing group, if you want to meet daytime, evening, if you want to meet online via Zoom, and again, let us know whether it's daytime or evening, we'll see how we can cater for you. Ash Wednesday, I think, is the 6th of March, it's not that far away. So, hopefully you've thought about it and we'll be able to indicate how you would like to participate. So clipboard on against by the windows out there. Everything else, returning your palm crosses so we can get them ready for Ash Wednesday. Everything else, World Day of Prayer coming up, I think everything's in there. I'm encouraging people to talk with leaders, which groups are operating, which groups aren't. Hopefully you got a circular letter or a letter from me, an email with information that was come out just recently. Vestry are meeting this week just to sort of get a gauge of where everything's at, doing the normal business, but also just COVID things. So I did a bit of a straw poll at the 8 o'clock congregation to see how they were feeling. The bishop has sent out an email to say that no teas and coffee, so we get a tick in the box for that. We haven't been doing that for a while. Otherwise, spaced out, wearing masks, doing what we're doing, not going longer than an hour. We're up to 55 minutes, so we're going okay. And the other thing he said, you might want to consider the place of communion and whether, because that's the point we take our masks off as a whole, and whether that continues with just the wafers or whether you don't have it at all. When we do our services online, we don't have communion at all. So that's probably about the only question I want to ask you. People can self-regulate. We're online, so you can choose to come or choose not to come. If unless the bishop says, no, you can't, but if vestry were making a decision or getting a feel about whether communion's happening or not happening, if we didn't have communion and just had everything else apart from that, who would still come to church? Hands down. Who would probably not come because there's not communion? Okay, all right. You're probably thinking what I want to hear, but that's okay. That's all right. Just getting a vague feel. Who's pretty happy? You're obviously here today, but who's pretty happy with what we've got operating? Not doing tea and coffee, masking up, spacing out, having communion. Who's pretty happy with how it is? Hands down. Who thinks we could do some improvements? Because I'd like to I could then give you a talk to you. Is anyone that thinks actually there's some things we could tweak to make ourselves safer? No, we're pretty okay. All right, okay, that's cool. I'm happy to keep holding church. On Wednesdays, we often only have 2 people, so I don't mind holding church for 2 people. We're online. We've got all the options. I think that'll do. You've heard enough from me, and we're getting close to that hour. So let's have our final hymn. You might not know the words, but you will, I hope, know the tune. And I thought the words were particularly pertinent to today. Deep in the heart, human heart, the fire of justice burns, a vision of a world renewed through radical concerns. As Christians, we are called to set the captives free, to overthrow the evil powers and end hypocrisy. And it talks about a world of justice, freedom and truth. So some great words by the author of this hymn. Why don't we stand to sing as we close our service today?